Hey, Pussynet, new little video. This one's a little update. Been a long time I didn't do a video, but it's been a little bit crazy since my trip in September, and I wanted to take the time to welcome all the new Pussino and some Pussynet. We do have some ladies with us, people. So welcome, and hope you enjoy the channel. I did, and I'll probably put a link down, an introduction of one of my video in the past of introduction, like why I'm doing videos and stuff, just so you have a little bit of an idea. A lot of you came from the Gafko video that I did with him when I was in New York. Kind of got me by surprise. I didn't expect to do a video. I was on the road for about 3 weeks, different place. I stopped in Baltimore, Washington, stuff for a course, and visiting for other friends and stuff, and family. But now I'm in. The reason that it took me a long time to take video, as some of you told me in the past, in the summer I broke a bone in my leg, so I'm doing physio. So I got every time I have a day off, it's pretty much a pain day, where I have physio, massage, chiropractor, and stuff. So it's taking a lot of my time, and in between life as well. So, but I'll try to get back on to make videos a little bit more. The little update. So we're gonna start today. The first, I think it's gonna be a 3-part video on the dressings. I know I keep talking about this one, and I think I got all my stuff now ready. There's one part that I'll do, but because I'll do it in 3 parts, I should be ready to finish it. So the first part of the video should be on a little bit like the myths of it. I did one a little bit on wound care in the past, but this time I want to concentrate a little bit more on the reason I'm going to talk about some of the dressing that I'll be talking about, especially because it will be different than a lot of the channels or even whatever heard, because what I'll be talking about, even in the field, like as a healthcare professional, it's even not fully there yet. It's kind of taking its momentum. I call them like the 21st century dressings, and we'll address that when I do the videos. Another one too, I'm waiting for something from the from in the mail right now, and we'll be talking about rehydration. In the Gafco video, I kind of mentioned a little bit a tube they're going to use, and I'll be showing. Been kind of doing experiment for about a year or so now, doing research and stuff on different ways of rehydrating people that you would have to take care of. So I will be addressing that, and again, that one may be a little bit controversial. Some people will disagree. A lot of people in the community talks about intravenous, and really it's at the end of my list, and even kind of not recommended if you want, and I'll talk about it why a little bit more, despite that I use it on a regular basis every day at the hospital. But I'll mention why, and there's there's better and less invasive solution that you can use, and even more stuff that you can kind of improvise with that. So we'll do a video on that one. Also, I had a special request in the wound ones, so I think it's going to be like 3.3 part 0.5, because I'll do a special one on burns. A lot of people, so it's not so much about wound care as well, but burns in a self-reliance situation would be a lot of care for those, because it's a lot of dressings and things. And so we'll talk a little bit more about dressings for, and we're not talking about, you know, little burn on the finger. We're going to talk about major, I mean, your whole arm or your leg and things. And we'll talk, and it will go well with those two videos, those two series, because burns is a lot of fluid resuscitation and wound care. So I think it will work good to have this two series kind of before, and then after that we'll go kind of one notch, so it'll kind of convert himself to the burn one that we're going to do. By the way, don't hesitate to send me messages and stuff if you have requests about special videos that we're going to do that you would like to see and things like that. I'm still working on a few projects and stuff, and that's why some of those videos took a long time to do, because I've been reading a little bit more about books and stuff, and it's so fascinating what I'm discovering. It's very interesting and stuff. I'm very glad I took this kind of journey, because it is a journey for me. And the reason, like I said before when I started this self-reliance thing, is that despite what a lot of people seem to say, it doesn't exist. Like, self-reliance medicine doesn't quite exist. So it's a beast on his own. There's nothing really that you can rely on. There's things that you can, like, well, you know, extend some of the research that you can do. So, for example, from disaster medicine, you're like, I can probably use that for this. And this is what, so it's a little bit like a MacGyver medicine, because it's never really been tested, it's never really been done, but you can use some stuff that's been shown to prove and stuff, and say, well, if it didn't work in that situation, it most likely will work in this other situation. So it's very fascinating, because going kind of outside, like, I'll show you right now, and I got another book. So basically this one is a pharmacology book, and those are the books I was waiting for, and this is the kind of stuff I've been reading pretty much all summer. So this is 1935. So it's a 1930. You see the date there? Yeah, it's a 1935 pharmacology book that nursing was teaching. I also have the nursing part of it, and it's interesting. And the reason that I'm searching mostly this area, and I have another one somewhere. Oh, there you go. Another one that I was reading as well is the Civil War medicine, and it's very fascinating. And the reason I'm reading those things is that a lot of the video I found that is on the internet right now is talking about medicine that as we practice it right now in the hospital and stuff like this. But the problem is that if you take off those resources, you're going back to more in this area where they didn't have little catheters that was already pre-sterilized. They didn't have plastic catheters. They were limited resource. They were using, for example, in their IVs in those times, they were using like stainless steel needles they could reuse. And this is the advantage of using this technology of that time in self-reliance medicine, because now, for example, if I have one needle, and I learned, and we're going to do a whole series, I think, on sterilization and the difference with it and the different ways that you can do it, is that now if I use, for example, this needle, if I have the stainless steel needle that I can sterilize, that means I can do it at home. So that means no matter how long is the extension of my situation, is I can reuse that. So it's 2 months and beyond. And remember when we started this series was less than 2 months. This is pretty much what we're going to talk about, like for in the dressing. And after greater than 2 months, as I mean, I told before that, you know, I don't really subscribe to the doomsday kind of end of the world kind of stuff, but to play the game or to, like, you know, I mean, to hypothetically, and if you're not always prepared, you never prepare. You always want to have the everything in mind. So sure, we'll get ready for greater than 2 months, but how can you get prepared for something that you don't know how long it lasts? So for that, that's why I try to this greater than 2 months period in anything that I'm talking to as something that you can reuse, something that we can use our own, that we can create our own. Because also that's another thing. Even if you're less than 2 months, for example, Katrina, where houses were fully flooded. Well, even if you had, for example, resources of, I don't know, like 2 years of dressing change, which would be like thousands of dollars, but let's say you had like 2 years of dressing change. Well, now it's in your house under the water. How are you going to use that? You can't. So that way you have to find another solution where you can produce your own material. And if you go back in those days, that's the kind of stuff that they were using and stuff like this. So that's why right now some of my videos are extended, because I'm doing more of the research to kind of think outside the box a little bit. And it's not so much actually outside the box, it's go back to our history and study is like, what were they using then? Like, what were the Egyptian using? And I was reading a book on dressing in those days, and it's very fascinating. For example, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in the dressing part, but in 1934, they were already saying that gauze is not useful. And this is 1934, and then in the Egyptian time too, they were using other stuff, like for example to make casts and stuff like that. So it is very interesting to read in the past to understand. So I'm kind of babbling and everything. So I just wanted to welcome everybody, and please subscribe. Not subscribe, but send me a text, a message, to if you have any requests, questions, or anything that you would like to talk a little bit more about it. As well as I wanted to put a little warning. There will be some videos coming out on my channels. I have another project kind of going on the side at the hospital, where basically I'm going to try an exam. It's called a flight. It's a certification for flight nurses. And I'm going to be studying for that, and some people at the hospital were interested in it, and about the knowledge, and you retain more when you teach. So I thought, hey, well, I'll put presentations and stuff a little bit like what I'm doing right now, but on topics related to the exam. So it will be a little bit more about dry for some people, because it will be like physiology and stuff like this. But it's just I tried different venues and everything, and my channel seems like it will be the best way to convey that those presentations. So you will see those presentations, and they'll be under the title flight nurse exam, and then. But don't if you don't want to watch them and stuff, just pass them. But they could be interested too, but they will be at a higher level of like we're talking about acute critical care nursing and stuff. So some of the concept and everything may be like whoosh if you just have like a first aid stuff and everything. But still, I think would be interested. So anyway, it will be on my channel. So if you see them once in a while, just either delete them or watch them and enjoy. So welcome everybody, and yeah, we'll post a video pretty soon on wound management. Talk to you soon.